The final day of the USL Super League regular season brings us to the Bluegrass State, Lexington, Kentucky, for a battle between DC Power and Lexington SC. Lexington looking to snap a 4-match losing skid, and they'll need to lean on the play of the forward Hannah Richardson. Fourth on the team in goals, she's also been a key chance creator this season. Second most shots on target created on this Lexington side. For DC, trying to end their season on a high note, it's Madison Wolfbauer that has long powered this team. 26th in the league in total goals. Most goals scored by a defender on this DC team. Brings us to the horse capital of the world, Lexington, Kentucky, for a battle between Lexington SC and DC Power. Welcome inside Lexington Stadium alongside Christine Huber. I'm Jake Griffith. A pleasure to have you with us. A look at our league standings entering the final day of the regular season. DC and Lexington have long been eliminated from this playoff conversation. 7 and 8 in the table. All eyes now shift further up the table. 3 teams vying for that final spot in the playoff picture: Fort Lauderdale, Spokane, Dallas. All 3 of those teams in action this evening. So much drama around decision day. For Lexington, they've struggled to score this year, Christine. They've struggled to generate shots on target, but when they do get shots on target, they're converting at a high clip.
And they are really so good at picking up second balls, putting it through to goal. It's important today that they are relentless in the midfield. They have to win those second balls and try and make the best of their opportunities.
Of their 26 goals scored this season, just 6 in the second half of the season. Trying to get more opportunities in that zone 14. One way to do it, lean on Shay Moyer, the best chance creator on this team.
She's the captain of this team, the head of the stable. She really rallies the locker room. She holds down the midfield with her clearances and interceptions. She's going to have to do that today.
A do-it-all player, also leads this team in tackles won with 49. Conversely, for DC Power, the pickup of Gianna Gorley has been such a welcome addition. 5 goals in her last 9 appearances.
And she's just all over the pitch. She's a true 9 who knows how to score, knows how to get behind the D. We'll see her play both sides of the ball today, and that's an important part of DC's press.
6 total goal contributions this year for Gorley. We caught up with her before this match.
I mean, it's always a team effort. I feel like they've built me up confidence-wise. We play well together. They always put me in dangerous positions. And, yeah, we just have a good team dynamic, and I feel like that helps me just explode and play freely and kind of be myself. And I think that's so important as a striker. I think a lot of people know you can be dynamic when you're just free and doing whatever you want on the field, basically.
And how has it been working with your midfielders to get behind the opponent's back line?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we've had some injuries. We have a lot of girls leaving for national camp, so we have a lot of changes, but girls have always been stepping up, and I think we've, again, had a good dynamic where we know that I like it in behind, but I also like it to my feet as well. So, yeah, I think we're on the same page, and that's helped a lot.
Thanks so much to Gianna for taking some time to catch up before this match. Closing in on kickoff in Lexington, Kentucky between DC and Lexington, who've had so much success as of late against DC, winners of 2 of the last 3. We'll head to break, starters, and kick when we return to the Bluegrass State.
I shouldn't be here. That's what the first 3 doctors said. That even if I made it to remission, I'd probably never climb again. But I did, because I wanted a different answer. And I found it at UK Healthcare. They took a drug nobody else had yet. 12 rounds of chemo and a 16-person team. But here I am, right where I was never supposed to be.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the Bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building the future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Back in Lexington, Kentucky, Lexington SC DC set to kick off. The starting 11 now for Lexington SC and acting head coach Ben Willis. It's a 4-3-3 formation. 3 changes to this 11, including getting Nicole Vernis back. Huge in terms of chance creation, 11 key passes this season.
Vernis will be a big part, and notice Tolson in goal, her first pro appearance. Keep your eye on Parsons. She's a goal scorer. She has a nose for the goal.
Lexington really wants to control the tempo of this match as well. A player like Vernis's quality will help them do for exactly that. For DC and head coach Phil Nana, it's a 5-3-2. 2 changes across this 11, including Carly Frillis coming in and anchoring the midfield.
And she's going to be playing up high in the 10, a little higher here. She's going to be feeding, working with Abera and Gorley up top. Fitch on the right side there, your unsung hero. She's going to be serving balls in all night long.
DC looking for their 3rd win in their last 6 fixtures. Phil Nana told us this week that since the second half of the season has started, the results may not have come as free-flowing as they'd like, but there's been a complete shift in the mentality and the identity of this DC Power side. Rachel Sweat is our center referee this evening in Lexington, Kentucky. And she has these sides set to go for their 4th all-time meeting. DC have been outscored 5-1 combined over the last 2 matchups. As Sweat sounds the whistle, and we are underway on the final day of the Super League regular season. An errant clearance quickly intercepted by Parsons as this lobbed forward, and that will find the end line for a goal kick. Very nearly a dangerous, costly turnover early.
A very dangerous pass right there. Parsons able to intercept it, but a little bit of an early shot for her. I'd rather see her take on the defenders, try and get in that box.
Christine Huber, Jake Griffith, glad to have you with us here on Peacock's coverage of USL Super League as this hacked away for a clearance from DC. On it is Libby Moore, who's been 4 seasons with the famed North Carolina Tar Heels collegiate program. High pressure, forcing some issues at the back right now for DC. Intercepted once again. Trying to roll this in behind, looking for White. No options going forward. Back they go. Phil Nana for this DC Power organization said that May was a very productive month. He felt like there toward the end of April, Christine, they really found their identity. And you can tell, based on the way they've played over this final month of the season, this is a markedly improved team.
Phil Nana, he has won over the DC locker room. I mean, what improvement they've made since he took over. They seem to get better and better every single week.
He did tell us that if there were about 3-4 months more on this season.
He wants more.
He wants absolutely more. As now here's a turnover forced by Abera. Abera on her right. Abera! First save made in the professional career of Tiana Tolleson, making her first appearance this season.
Loza really unable to get that ball out in front of her foot, which didn't put a little power on her shot.
Both of these teams missing key players due to international duty. Lexington taking advantage of that and the season finale and saying, you know what, let's throw a different looking goal, see what we've got going for us next season. These teams playing for points and pride, but also one thing the 2 coaches reiterated to us this week, they are also using this match to set the table for next season.
It's important right now, just get set up for the offseason, set them up for year 2 of the Super League.
Trying to roll this in behind and quickly intercepted and cleared away by Lexington. One of those ways that Phil Nana said that he feels like this team has grown in this last month of the season, but specifically in terms of the entire spring half of the season, is their belief in themselves. As you mentioned, he's completely won over the locker room, and some of that comes from as DC on it, laid off, rolled in behind, looking for Fitch, but the flag is up for offside.
You can see call. You see her, I mean, she's just so dangerous. It was a good diagonal run to start off with, but just caught up in the late pass from Gorley.
Lexington very fortunate to not be down a goal early on as Duong intercepts. Lexington returns the favor.
This is what Lexington loves to do. They love to win it in their defensive third and then start a quick counterattack.
This middle third portion of the pitch has been a sore spot for this Lexington team. Fewest possession won in the midfield among all Super League teams. That's a reason why Ben Willis, the acting coach, told us this week that they wanted to utilize the midfield to try to control the tempo of this match.
Yeah, and that's key. You can already see the high pressures we see right here that they're putting on. I mean, it's going to be an exciting game today. Both teams are really going at it already.
Parsons trying to cut to her inside. Knocked off the ball by Conte. Here's Loza Ibarra. DC able to turn this upfield. Fitch wanting Gorley in behind. Gorley nets it home, and DC on top early.
This is an amazing run by Gorley. I love how she times it. I love the diagonal run, and then I also love how she's telling her teammates exactly where she wants the ball. Her hands are out, teammates able to put it right into the space, and Gorley with a textbook inside of the foot finish.
The Fort Lauderdale United loanee continuing to score goals. Her 7th goal contribution of the season.
I mean, she just knows how to score. We see her get behind the defense all the time, and it's really her runs off.
DC continues to find scoring opportunities in the first half hour of the contest. 9 combined goals in the first 30 minutes played, and they want more. On it now is Carly Frills. Short-lived possession for DC, but there's high pressure right now for DC, Christine, causing some issues for Lexington. And a white calm under it, able to draw a whistle, and that will bring a stoppage to things.
And we talked to interim head coach Phil Nana just about his pressing, right? And he presses from the front, the midfield, and also that back. He loves to put them under pressure and then win that second ball.
Nana told us that part of that pressing identity comes from his German background, where he ability on display early on from DC.
And especially when you have a forward like Gorley, right? She plays both sides of the ball. She's able to score, as we already saw in the first few minutes, but she's also going to be the first one to start the press.
Intercepted at the midfield stripe and worked back down to White on that far touchline. No options going forward. They have to steer this back to Tiana Tolleson. A native of Hawaii, played collegiately at Vanderbilt. No space to move. I'll be you. Guides this out wide, it's Parsons. Parsons wanting the cross, unhooks it. It's headed away. Bagley able to pull that ball down, and will lay it off to Katie Duong, trying to lift this back upfield to Bagley, and does. All kinds of space for Anna Bagley. DC taken down. That will draw a free kick. And a positive position here for DC, but we see the use of the switching ball there, Christine. What is the importance of that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's very important, right? Get this Lexington defense moving from side to side. That's going to open up gaps, and that's exactly what led to the DC goal already, because they were able to slip that ball behind the defense for Worley to score.
Four set-piece goals this season for DC Power, but all of them have come off of corners. As Katie Duong, the former Minnesota Golden Gopher, Stanford Cardinals standout, stands over top of it.
Yeah, Duong's usually the one to send these balls in. I mean, her services are just unbelievable in the box.
Katie Duong spent last summer with the USLW side, Minnesota Aurora, and I know this from covering her a summer ago. 5 free kick goals in the W League as Duong lifts this in the thick of it.
I mean, her balls are just so perfectly placed in the box.
Duong, one of a litany of players on the pitch today and in the respective 18s that have made their way through the USLW League, completing the pathway, so to speak, up to the USL Super League. That's steered across the touchline. Change of possession will occur via the throw-in. Long throw finds Ibarra. Lifted in, looking for Gianna Gorley and cleared away.
I'm not sure what Lexington was doing there. I don't know if they thought the throw was going their way or not, but DC, smart enough, takes that quick throw in, and at least they're able to get behind their defense.
DC getting a lot of numbers in behind right now, and on the defensive side of things, starting to suffocate Lexington in their own end of things. A chance here, though, for Lexington. Good defensive recovery by DC as Doyle gives it up.
Numbers behind the ball is what DC's doing. They're forcing Lexington to play back. Excellent defensive tactics.
Intercepted by Ibarra. Now Ibarra lifts it up ahead. It's Gianna Gorley again. What a cutback inside. Gorley leaves it off. This is Colton. Punching up a bit, pops free back to Fitch. Fitch whips it in, headed away.
Nice offensive set by DC there. Fitch sending in more balls into the box.
This DC side, Christine, playing with a lot of confidence early on.
This is not the team we saw in the fall. Let's put it that way.
This cross intercepted and cut out by DC. Falls right back to Madison Parsons.
And look at the DC numbers behind the ball again. Excellent job forcing Lexington back. It's hard to score when you're 50, 60 yards away from the goal.
DC finished that aforementioned first half of the season 6-5-2. 17 goals scored by DC in that first half. As Duong trying to help back on defense. It's given up. This is Vernus. Now Vernus, what a pass, slips it in behind. Excellent save by Addie Gay. And it's dumped out for a clearance.
Slip reading this. Very good right now. It's a nice dummy there. Good reaction save by Gay.
There's a reason we highlighted Vernus in our broadcast open, and it's for vision like that. Fourth most key passes completed, and you see why.
Oh, yeah, she's just able to split the defense, and credit the dummy there.
Back on it again is Lexington. Doyle again gives it up. Here's Vernus from distance! What a goal! All level at one!
A little shimmy shake, and rightfully so. I mean, what a blast from Vernus, from her foot into the upper 90s. I mean, just brilliant right here. She just needs a little bit of space. She sees it the entire way and just launches it.
Second goal of the season for Nicole Vernus, and minutes after conceding the opener, Lexington have pulled back level in this first half.
We have a fight in the game today. I mean, this is going to be exciting, right? We weren't sure what we were going to get today. Both these teams are looking to leave everything on the pitch, and high pressure, great goals so far. We still have a lot more time left.
When we said these teams were playing for points and pride, we were not lying. They are going for it early on, both trying to finish their seasons on a positive note.
Lexington SC goal in the 13th minute by number 11, Nicole Furness.
Here's Bagley on the move, the former VCU Ram. Flanked out wide, Abera. Abera whips this ball in. Falling through, struggling with the clearance, and Fitch will pick it up. Fitch peels this back. Her cross knotted away, falls back to Doyle. There is a whistle, and a foul goes against DC, which will bring a stoppage to this. Lexington Sporting Club's injury report is brought to you by UK Healthcare. Several names there on the Lexington injury report. It is that point of the season where we're reaching the end. People are carrying knocks that they've been carrying for so many months. 5 faces on that injury report for Lexington.
Yeah, and now this is time when those younger players step in, right? Next woman up. Who's going to be the one that's going to propel the team in the offseason into next season?
On the move is DC, countering once again. Good defensive recovery by Lexington as it's guided back to Tiana Tolleson. Conte read that well, very nearly stepped in front, but here is Lexington. Anna White leading the charge.
Thanks to Lexington SC's goal in the 13th minute. Congratulations to the fans sitting in section 115, row FC 20.
Cheers to local beer. West 6th Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club. Find their locally crafted beers all around the state of Kentucky, from the flagship West 6th IPA to 6 Light Lager. There's something for everyone. Head to west6th.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms and learn more about Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC.
It's a nice switch there by Gorley. They're really trying to keep this ball on the right side. They're playing through Fitch a lot.
DC content to utilize these long switching passes. When you are able to switch the ball like that, it does open things up as it's rolled ahead. It's Gorley again, straightaway save made.
Gorley shot that one a little too early. She still had time for another touch here. I'd like to see her put this one far post, but check out the cut inside. She's not going to be happy with that one. She still had time to put that far post.
Gorley, the goal scorer so far for DC. Vernus answering minutes later, putting us on even footing, 1-1. Despite the goal scored by Lexington, this has, Christine, been a first half that's been dominated in terms of possession by DC, up to 55%. It's worked over to this near touchline now to Bagley. Bagley tries to lay it off, does so to Duong, crossed in, on the doorstep, tapped home. DC back in front. Loza Abera, her 5th of the season, 2-1 DC power.
These DC off-the-ball runs from the forwards, from the midfielders, are just impeccable. I mean, they're making diagonal runs, they're making lateral runs, and Lexington is having a hard time keeping track of where all the players are. Duong sends that one wide, but if you're gonna miss, you miss wide, you miss far post. Loza Abera is able to clean it up.
The Ethiopian national netted 39 goals in 31 career appearances in the Ethiopian Women's Premier League, the most ever career goals scored, and she has picked that up in the Super League with 6 goal contributions this season. 3 goals in less than 20 minutes, Christine. I don't know about you, but I will take that.
100%. I mean, what an exciting game we have on hand here. Goals galore. And, you're talking about Loza Ibarra. If you're a goal scorer, you know how to score. It doesn't matter what competition you're in, what cup you're in, what league you're in. If you know how to score, you get it done.
Conte shown yellow for a strong challenge on Lexington, and Madison Parsons. That will draw a free kick for Lexington SC.
Yellow card has been issued by the referee to DC Power number 8, Loza Ibarra.
Just a tackle from behind. She gets the ball, but unfortunately also 2 legs, 2 ankles, 2 Achilles there. Fair call by the ref.
Parsons was a bit slow to get up, is back to her feet. As Conte shown yellow, hovering over it. Madison Perez. 5 assists this season for Lexington, who have at times been strong in terms of free kick conversion. 4 free kick goals. Perez lifts this one in. Leaping up for it is Addie Gay. That's a brave play.
That is. I mean, I would not want to be caught in that mix right there. And Addie Gay doing a great job getting to her highest point, grabbing that ball out of the air so nobody can get it. It was a perfectly placed ball, though, right? It's one of those, if you're a goalkeeper, you don't want that ball in there, right? It's, am I staying or am I going? And Addie Gay makes the right decision.
Plenty of bodies hovering around inside that 18. I am a short man myself. I am by no means picking on anyone, but Addie Gay, 5'6", giving up a lot of height there. Not afraid to go up for it as this worked over to White, and White's cross blocked out for a corner.
And that's part of the reason she's a professional, right? She may be a little shorter as far as height, but she picks it up with her heart, her jumps, her abilities, and her aggressiveness.
Today's Lexington SC corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Lexington has made the most of their few corner opportunities, fewest corners generated in USL Super League, but they do have 6 corner goals, as Perez will be the point person on this near flag. Perez lifts this back post. Again, Gay going up for it, closing off the opportunity.
Gay really able to dominate her box on those high balls.
Lexington starting to send some numbers forward, trying to get DC a bit uncomfortable as Lexington looks to pull back another goal like they did after conceding the opener. Fans, visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC team store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. From kits to scarves and hats, we've got everything you need to show off your club pride. That's lexsporting.com. Another switching pass and another ball pulled in plenty of space. Bagley gives it up to Ibarra, but the flag is up for offside. Christine, we've seen DC use these switching passes. How does that impact a defense?
Well, I think it's shifting that defense over. That's opening up the gaps. And then the next part for DC, you see them making those lateral and diagonal runs, and that's what's opening them up, right? It's easy to guard someone if they're just standing there. But with DC doing those crossing runs and the movements into the space, Lexington's really having a lot of trouble marking their players.
Ball comes to rest in the hands of Addie Gay. Quickly rolled back out. There's Conte on it. Worked back up ahead. Here's Anna Bagley again. Oh. Struggled to keep her footing there.
Yeah, unlucky.
It was raining for a long stretch here in Lexington before this match kicked off. Rain moved out of the area about 40 minutes before kickoff, but it's still a bit of a wet pitch. Is on it again is Lexington, carrying it inside. Lexington centers, and again, Gay will claim that cross.
Luckily, Addie Gay was able to read it, come out and grab it.
DC will have a throw in. Phil Nana, one of the things that he keyed in on this week, the reason that Lexington has been able to have success against this DC side in their most recent 2 matches, which have gone for wins in favor of Lexington, Nana said that they weren't good enough in the transitional and the pressing moments. They've made a real emphasis at that today, and so far it's paying off.
They look good. I mean, pressing from all over the field. It's a nice split ball right there.
Abera gives it up out wide. This is Fitch. Cuts to her right, lofts it in, and sprawling on it is Tiana Tolleson. Nana did tell us that this DC team mentally was preparing for the idea that this would not be the same Lexington team that has been showcased over the final 5 to 6 matches, expecting that brave, ambitious Lexington team. They showed that on the goal they scored to pull back level. How can they recapture some of that?
They have to keep possession and get those numbers going forward. If we notice, it seems like Lexington's always numbers down, right, in the offensive third. You're not going to be able to score too much that way. So they've got to get up, and it actually is going to start from their defensive press. When your top player goes to press the ball, you can't let him out, and that second level of defense has to come and win that next pass.
Ben Willis, the acting head coach, he said exactly that. He said, look, we cannot give DC the lion's share of the possession. They are such a dangerous team when they sit in on possession. Right now, DC sitting in on possession. But here's Lexington. They'll lift it in. Cross left a little wanting there by Shea Moyer as Addie Gay able to leap up for it.
And they're keeping Gay busy in goal, that's for sure.
Just 2 shots on target, but between the corners, the cross is claimed by Addie Gay, the punch-outs. She has been active early on. There's a quick whistle from Rachel Sweat for a stoppage. Addie Gay thrust into action with the loss of Aquino, the normal starting goalkeeper. Rachel Aquino out with international duty for the Australian national team.
Yeah, when you look at this DC team, right, they have so many international players, right? Missing 5 today. It just shows how strong they are individually. And now I feel like this spring season, they've started to meld and gel a little bit more, and that shows the success.
Fitch lifts this in. Flying in for the header was Bagley. It falls to Duong. Pushed off the bar and out. Finally hacked out of play for a clearance. DC continuing to tighten the screws in this first half.
Tolleson keeping Lexington in this. What a great read, because this is a tough ball. It's going over her head. We'll see Duong take it. She needs a better first touch there, but she knows that. And look at that, just parrying it off the ball. Excellent goalkeeping.
Nana was effusive in his praise when we caught up with him with the play of Katie Duong. Said she's like a second coach out on the pitch, just constantly consumes information from this coaching staff.
And she has great vision as well. That ball bounced a little funny. She wasn't able to get the touch forward.
Running behind, it's Gorley! Again parried away by Tiana Tolleson. Already her 4th save of the first half.
If you're a forward, if you're an offensive player, you are loving this game, right? But also
Tiana Gorley, Tiana Tolleson right now keeping Lexington in this contest under significant duress. It's another corner earned by this DC Power side, their 3rd of the first half. Duong will pull the strings on it from the far flag. Duong drops this into a crowd, punched away by Tolleson. It's still loose and finally corralled back in. She is playing like a seasoned veteran right now in her first appearance of the year.
You would never guess these are her first minutes or first saves ever as a professional player. I mean, look at what confidence she's coming out with. Even though she's getting kicked, she's still able to corral that ball. Next level goalkeeping.
Lexington will try to build things out of the back. They have spent so much time pinned back in this end of things as that's headed out by DC, and Lexington will have a throw.
Lexington really seems to be working through the middle a little more, where DC's targeting Fitch in their right flanks.
Played into space. This is Albiu. Wants to roll this in behind to Parsons. Was covered well by Myra Conte, and that's steered out of play for a Lexington throw in. Lexington coming off that loss against Fort Lauderdale United. Had last weekend off, but as Lexington coaching staff say, they were most proud of the way they fought for a full 90 minutes. They did say, though, that they have to start putting their chances away if they want to consistently win games like this, as it's lobbed over the top, pulled in by...
I think with DC's defense and how compact they are, it's going to be tough. They keep trying to put it down the middle of the field, putting it down the throat of DC. I'd really like to see him get it wide a little more, get the ball switched, get that DC defense moving.
Intercepted by Duong. Played back ahead, Gorley. The flag will finally come up for offside. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Play back underway after the brief stoppage for offside, as that's nodded out of play. In mind, as we've now crossed over the half-hour mark. And since then, DC has made the most of their opportunities, and they're doing it by using that high press and forcing turnovers along the back.
Yeah, and if they don't win it on their initial press, it's the second ball, right? If you watch Gorley up top, she's going to be one, she's going to tell everyone where they're pressuring the ball, where they're pushing the ball, where you want to force them, and that enables that second line of DC to win the ball.
Again, one back by DC. Abera sidesteps one challenge. Outstanding recovery by Trinity Watson. Rolled ahead, wanting Parsons, and the flag will come up. Rather, Hannah White in behind.
I know the fans in the stable are booing, but to me, that's the correct call, right? I mean, this is the difference between DC and Lexington right now. Lexington not timing their run. They're running straight ahead. All the defense has to do is step up a little bit, and you're offside on that pass. It just increases the chance of error, where DC on the flip side, making the correct runs, they're able to connect and break those lines.
Across these final 15 minutes of this first half, of course, plus added time as well, as Gorley on it for DC. Has an option out wide and finds Hearn Bagley. Give and go, trying to play Anna Bagley through.
Oh,
at the byline,
unlucky.
Just couldn't corral it in.
Bagley got there in time, but then she hit it off her own shins to go out over the line.
These final 15 minutes for Lexington are something that acting head coach Ben Willis really talked a lot about this week when we caught up with him. He says he feels like that they just are not finishing halves on the strongest note, and it's setting them up for failure going into halftime and starting the second half.
And he wants them to be relentless, right? He wants them to be aggressive. It's just tough for them to put, or it's been tough for them to put it together for 45 or 90 minutes.
There's a whistle for a foul in the midfield. DC will have a free kick. That loss against Tampa that DC suffered in their most recent fixture coming into this, Phil Nana called it a tough match, one of the best matches he's seen Tampa play. But he did say that he felt like his team also played well, despite what the scoreline would show. They were very prepared. The biggest area of improvement he wanted to see today was cleaning up mistakes in possession. And so far, they have made very few mistakes, having the lion's share of the possession. As Duong rolls it back through, but again, the flag will come up. Both of these teams are a little overeager right now to get in.
They are stretching their forwards, that's for sure. Lexington doing a good job there with the timing of their jumps up to get Gorley offside.
With 3 goals scored less than 20 minutes in, everybody wants to get in on the goal scoring
Why
party,
not?
right?
Let's have 10 goals today. Why not?
Gorley got it going in the 5th minute. Loza Abera responded to the Lexington goal in the 13th minute with a 17th minute goal. Vernus, the lone goal scorer for the home side. Just worked ahead. Good touch taken on the move. Parsons wanting the cross. Now cuts inside. Still Parsons now. Parsons lifts it in. Knocked out of play. A corner conceded. A heads-up clearance by Mernon.
You can see how deadly Parsons is when she gets the ball at her feet. She's able to cut, get behind defenders. Right now, she's able to eventually cut this and get it onto her left foot, just not generating enough power for a quality shot there.
10 goal contributions this season, 5 goals, 5 assists. But also, in terms of creating those dangerous chances, 14 shots on target. Today's Lexington SC corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Second corner of the evening.
How about that mosh pit in front of the goal?
As it drops right into the hands of Addie Gay.
Addie Gay making that Z-butt.
Willis says he's been very pleased watching as an assistant under interim head coach Sam Stockley and now being given the reins for these final 2 matches. But he's been very pleased with their set piece production, the way they've been aggressive, the way they've attacked set pieces. That trend continuing here in this first half with the 2 first half corners. Duong picks up the pieces for DC. Again, rolled ahead. Bagley touched inside. Left back off to Bagley, but the flag up again.
Lexington right now is doing a good job with their high line, stepping together, and that's why Gorley keeps getting called offside. If you notice here, right, they're going to stay unit.
Lexington in search of an equalizer, in search of what would be their second home victory of 2025 this season, as this dish to the back, no options going forward. Ben Willis, so much chatter this week about the importance of finishing not just strongly to the season, but wanting to notch a final win at their home venue. Both these coaches laid it pretty bluntly this week. They said, this is professional soccer. We do not know how many of these players will be back on these rosters next year. And whether you make the playoffs or you miss the playoffs, that's the same conversation that every team will have in the offseason. They want, as a unit, to go out on a high note at home and send the players into the offseason happy.
These are professional players, right? They're still going out there. They're going to play. They're going to perform. They want to win, and they need to prove themselves to get on the roster, whether it's one of these teams or a different squad. They need to prove themselves.
Intercepted, 1 back. Gorley tries to lift it in, took a deflection. Emergency clearance away by Lexington. Danger not averted at the moment. Gorley again caught offside. You can see the frustration starting to bubble up a little bit on Gianna Gorley.
Yeah, and that's also Lexington playing high, a little higher than we saw those first few minutes. Gorley, I'd like to see her just take a knee, right? Let that ball run by her, and then Loza Abera can run onto it.
Guided up ahead. Here's Maddie Parsons. Now we have another whistle from Rachel Sweat. DC's free kick will get play back underway off the stoppage. 11 first half touches league this year in terms of balls won back in the midfield, as there is a whistle for a foul. Phil Nana said that when he came in as the interim coach, when he was appointed back in December of 2024, the first thing he and the coaching staff went to work on was establishing an identity of being a dominant midfield team, playing back into that idea of his German roots with the emphasis on the counter press.
And the thing was, you know, you talked about how he was saying they want to get better and clean up the mistakes. They are. Every game, DC seems to be getting better on all facets of the game.
Here's Vernus, the lone goal scorer for Lexington. Lofts this into White. White taken down, no whistle so far. Perez weaving in and out of players. It's on to Parsons, who steers that wide. Lexington SC fans, be sure to get your tickets at lexsporting.com to our next men's home match on Saturday, June 14th, presented by Central Bank. Kickoff versus New Mexico United is at 7 p.m. We're celebrating Father's Day and National Bourbon Day with a BOGO ticketing deal and bourbon tastings with local favorites. Purchase your tickets at lexsporting.com. Coincidentally, I will be on the call for that match against New Mexico United.
Cheers to that.
Should be a fun one back here in Lexington. Always fun to get a chance to cover Lexington SC. You talk to people around this club, whether it's the USLW side, whether it's now the Super League side, the men's side making their foray into USL Championship. There's so much love and admiration around this club. As this worked ahead, it's Gorley. Gorley in behind, Gianna Gorley! A first half brace, 3-1 DC.
Wow, does she make it look easy? I mean, that's a 40-yard run she just had. She was able to win the ball. She makes the perfect touch to cut off the defender. There's nothing that a defender can do, right? You either foul her from behind, you're not winning this ball. I mean, just perfect place from Loza Ibarra with that ball through. I mean, this is next level attacking right here. And to just stay so calm and composed. She has those long legs, right? She strides it out, and it's just a simple finish.
What a finish to the regular season for Gianna Gorley. Now 7 goals in her final 10 appearances. Opening the scoring in the 5th minute, and 37 minutes later, bagging a brace.
And she's out there like she has something to prove, right? She wants a new pro contract. Someone give her a raise.
Gianna Gorley loaned over to DC from Fort Lauderdale United at the start of the spring half of the USL Super League season. That loan will run through June of this year. I'm sure looking at, from a Fort Lauderdale perspective, looking at the goal contributions, the way that Gianna Gorley has quickly asserted herself in this DC lineup, there was a stretch where Fort Lauderdale were struggling to find goals that has put them in a tight spot down the stretch of the season. I'm sure they look back on it and think, wow, we could have used maybe 1 or 2 extra goals from Gianna Gorley. Ibarra will loop this out wide.
And there's just so much more that goes into it, right?
Back on it again. This time it's DC, and Susanna Finch who sails that over the bar. But you're right, it's about fit within the organization. In Fort Lauderdale, they do have so many talented attacking players that it got to the point where Gorley was starting to get lost in the shuffle, so to speak.
And you look at how well she combos with her midfielders here. I mean, I'm just so impressed by DC's forward runs. The diagonal, the timing of it. I know they've been called offside, but that's also because of Lexington's high defensive line right now. But I mean, just the timing between the midfielders and forwards, hats off to Phil Nana and what he's worked on these past few months.
Get the latest Lexington SC news right at your fingertips by downloading the official mobile app powered by Fan 360. Get access to exclusive content while shopping for season tickets and LSC gear, all in the Lexington SC fan app. Plenty of space to move ahead. Frills lifted toward the top of the area. Rushing in to keep the pressure on. Conte has a go and sails that out. It will be a corner, though, deflected by Lexington.
It's a nice run by Conte from the defense. There were so many options for DC in the box. She almost had so much time and space, too much time to think.
4 goals on corners this season for DC Power, who have their 3rd corner of this first half. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first 45 minutes. Duong plays the short option. It's Colton. Give it back to Duong. Lifted in, Frills into a crowd, and racing off her line is Tiana Tolleson. There's the whistle from Rachel Sweat. The final act of the first half. 45 minutes in the books, an offensive showcase for DC on the road.
How good does DC Power look right now offensively? They're able to connect the lines, they're getting behind this Lexington defense, and they're just blowing it open with shots on goal.
3 first half goals for DC Power. It all got started in that 5th minute, bookended in the 42nd minute. And most of that offense, Christine, has been generated off that counter press, dominating that midfield space tonight.
I think they're just dominating all over the field. I feel DC is moving off the ball a lot more than Lexington. It's making Lexington look a little bit slow, and DC is able to capitalize.
Lexington left searching for answers heading into the halftime break of their final fixture of 2025. We are joined at the half by the aforementioned Gianna Gorley. Gianna, thanks for taking some time to talk. A first half brace for you. What were you seeing from the defense so far?
Well, they're playing a very high line from the start of the game, so we all kind of let each other know to play those balls through, and we were bound to get a few goals.
Moving and looking forward to the second half, any adjustments you think you have to make offensively?
One, I mean, for me, staying on size, I feel like that was a big one. And then 2 is just keeping the ball a little more. I think we're maybe fatigue setting in, or however it is, just maybe not going forward every single time, playing the ball back and keeping it to go forward at a better time.
Gianna, thank you so much. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
A first half brace for Gianna Gorley, her first brace of her Super League career. It's on DC. Second minute. We'll head to break and return for the halftime report when we return to Lexington.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
What launches this ball and finds the winner. Oh, what a play! It's a bending effort.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, graded assists. Gainbridge, graded assists for your savings.
Success isn't a game of chance. It's about making the right moves. Just like Lexington Sporting Club, Commonwealth Credit Union aims to win by helping you defend your goals and keeping your money on the attack. As the official credit union of Lexington Sporting Club, we're empowering success on the field and in your finances with smarter banking options and unbeatable service. Are you ready to take the lead? Then get the home field advantage for your finances, only with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
It's halftime in Lexington, Kentucky. DC Power, 3 first-half goals on the board over Lexington SC. We've reached the 45-minute break, a chance to take a look at news and notes around the Super League. Playoff hosts have been determined. Carolina sent the #1 overall seed. Tampa Bay Sun, the #2 overall seed. They will host the playoff semifinals on June 7th and 8th. But, Christine, with all eyes looking forward to next season, sporting Jacksonville, who will join the league as an expansion side, making their first 2 signings in club history.
Yeah, big news out of Jacksonville. 9 teams now for the Super League. The schedule is already released for next season.
Georgia Brown, the former USLW League Defender of the Year a season ago, one of those 2 signings. A look around today's schedule around the Super League, the final day of the USL Super League regular season. All eyes on Dallas Trinity, Carolina Ascent, and Spokane and Fort Lauderdale United. If Dallas wins, they can clinch a playoff spot at the 3 seed if there's a tie between Spokane and Fort Lauderdale, or the 4 seed if either Spokane or Fort Lauderdale win. As for that Spokane-Fort Lauderdale match, Fort Lauderdale needs a win, and in order to clinch that 3 seed, they would need a Dallas loss or a tie for all things around the final day of the USL Super League. Marion Crowder, Anna Whitty, as always, they have you covered.
And a decision day is here, and it's all coming down to match week 35. We've got 3 teams still in the hunt for only 2 playoff spots available.
Plus, we are joined by Tampa Bay's captain, Jordan Listro. She talks about why she's so excited to be with the Sun this season, her unique relationship with her head coach, Denise Schulte-Brown, and why she can't wait for the playoffs in Tampa Bay.
We'll head back to break. Halftime rolls on in Lexington, Kentucky, between DC and Lexington SC.
Sports medicine offers comprehensive treatments for bone, joint, and muscle disorders and injuries of all types. From complex repairs to complete replacements. UKHealthcare.com, the power of advanced medicine.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of Lexington SC. Get all your Lexington SC tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. The Lexington Sporting Club's men's USL Championship team is back in action at home on Saturday, June 14th, presented by Central Bank. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. right here at Lexington SC Stadium. Don't miss a minute of the excitement. Bring the energy, wear your green, and help pack the stands as we chase 3 points on home turf.
Back in Lexington, Kentucky, halftime continues on inside Lexington SC Stadium. DC Power a 3-1 lead over the home side through 45 minutes. So look at our halftime highlights, and Christine, there were plenty of them, especially with 3 goals scored in the first 20 minutes.
So much offense from both teams. Gorley with a brace in the first half, and this is a diagonal ball, a little slip pass here from Fitch, which just gives Gorley the time and space to take a shot.
We heard from Gianna Gorley at that halftime break. She said Lexington playing that high line had to adapt to it. Lexington adapted very quickly to going down a goal. A beautiful strike from Bernice.
What a blast from her laces right here.
That would be short-lived, though, the equalizer, because Katie Duong would lay a ball off right in front, deflecting around, and then score.
And it's Bagley who actually wins it in the defensive end that gets DeWong out for that shot. Loza Abera able to pick up the trash and put it in.
The heavy hitters all firing on all cylinders in that first half. And then again, adding insult to injury, it's Gianna Gorley.
Off to the races in the stable is Gorley on this breakaway. And notice this little hesitation, little stutter step. That's what gets Tolson to freeze.
Look at our halftime stats. 4 total goals, 8 shots, 7 on target. 50% possession, pretty even, but you want to talk about efficiency there for DC Power and generating chance creations. 7 shots on target. We'll head back to break the second half when we return to Lexington.
Substitution for DC Power at halftime. Number 25, Alex Kiernos, replacing number 2, Hannah Bagley. And number 4, Abby Lee Stringer, replacing number 29, Madison Wolfbauer. And for Lexington SC, number 16, Julie Mackin, replacing number 23, JJ Albiu.
Back inside Lexington Stadium, second half on its way between Lexington SC and DC Power alongside Christine Huber. Jake Griffith, glad to have you. An offensive explosion through 45 minutes, 4 goals combined as Rachel Sweat sounds the whistle.
A lot of excitement there in that first half. Let's see if we can double the amount of goals for the second half.
Three combined changes at the halftime break, 2 for DC. We have it now, looking to clear it away. Abby Lee Stringer and Alex Kiernos will both trot on for their first appearances. Julie Mackin comes on for Lexington SC, who had a goal earlier this year against DC Power. I mentioned Mackin tossing it in inside Lexington Stadium between Lexington SC and DC Power. On the move is Libby Moore, who works this ahead. Higgins cuts to her right, tries to cross, and it's nodded away. Serve back on, but hacked away toward Gianna Gorley. A first half brace for Gianna Gorley, who can't control it, and it's picked up by Mackin. Mackin back on it. Fired, middle of the park, I should say. Parsons fired, middle of the park, I should say. Parsons struggled with the control. Doyle helps it back along. Doyle rolled in behind. It's Moyer. Given back up. Parsons crosses it in and batted down by Addie Gay. LSC fans, visit lexsporting.com to get your latest Lexington SC news, merchandise, and discounted ticket offers. That's lexsporting.com. Lexington in the infancy of this second half, showcasing more of an aggressive profile, sending numbers forward. That's something we didn't see in that first half. The transitional ability of DC really got them away from that.
The first half, they were really just sending the one person to pressure, and nobody was there to fall behind, right? Pressure, cover, balance, it wasn't there. Now they're picking up. That second line is now stepping with their forwards, and just like this, they're able to win that second ball, and off they go in the counterattack.
Rolled ahead, here's Higgins. Has to double back, no options. Option, and Shea Moyer tripped, but Lexington able to recover.
Miscommunication there between the girls in green.
The passing hasn't been as crisp today as Lexington would like it, completing less than 80%. And we've seen a lot of that, careless giveaways, but here's a giveaway at the back by DC. This high press of Lexington starting to cause some issues. Mackin tries to fire it ahead, overhits that pass, and it will ultimately end in an Addie Gay goal clearance.
just misconnections there for Lexington, right? You see it, they have the right ideas, they're getting it tactically, they're just not connecting.
More pressure applied, one back, Doyle, touch toward goal, it's in! Maddie Parsons, her 6th of the season, a lifeline for Lexington in the second half, 3-2.
We just talked about the pressure that Lexington is putting on DC, and this is exactly it. In the first half, that second line was not there. You had the pressure, you didn't have the cover. Now they have the pressure. They're able to pick up this pass, and what a sliding finish by Parsons. Tough one to get by Gay.
Up to a... Safe to say Ben Willis very excited about the efforts of Maddie Parsons in the 50th minute. New life breathed into the chances of this Lexington SC side.
And she had chances in the first half. She was able to cut it by a few defenders. Now she's able to come up with the goal.
Space to move now for Colton. Was flanked by options. They were cut off by the defense of Lexington. An important burst of energy following the goal conceded for DC. Is Fitch on it now? Fitch funnels it back down the near channel, laid off inside. Now Fitch whips it in. It's cleared away by Perez. On to Gorley, who has a go over the bar and out.
And we're still seeing that high line from Lexington. DC doing a good job, right? You want to beat it by comboing like we just saw there, or if they get a chance, they can actually attack, drive right at that back line, that last defender, and then dish it for a quick pass. And I think we'll see that a little bit more in the second half.
The switching ability on display from DC in that first half, but there are other ways to overload this Lexington defense, and combination plays on those touch lines, one way to do it. Ibarra, plenty of space out wide, but the flag is up as Carly Frills caught in an offside position. West 6th Brewing is a proud partner of the Lexington Sporting Club with dynamic taproom locations all throughout the state of Kentucky. You can enjoy West 6th locally crafted beers for all your adventures. Enjoy a Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC, at all home games or at your favorite retailers around Lexington. Mackin steps up, works it ahead. This is Higgins again. Telegraph pass, looping ahead. Ibarra will track this down on that far touchline.
Smart play by Ibarra. She didn't have the numbers, so she just knocked it back so they can reload.
Guided all the way back to Addie Gay, who has to clear that out under duress. Change of possession will occur via the throw in. Kate Doyle, the former Arkansas Razorback, throws it back in to get play back underway. Now we have a whistle from Rachel Sweat. That'll draw a stoppage to things.
Lexington is not going to let Ibarra turn with the ball at all. They are going to force her backwards.
In spite of the whistle, even just prior to it, we are seeing those Lexington players continuing to creep higher up the pitch, and it is really snuffing out passing lanes through the middle, an area that DC was so strong at controlling in that first half.
Lexington's just working as a team now, where we didn't see that so much in the first half.
Gorley corrals that ball in. knifing through defenders.
Just broke some ankles there.
Lifted up ahead. Not in a position to receive that was Loza Ibarra. Instead, Tiana Tolleson will pick it up and quell the danger from DC. Again, worked out wide. This is Hannah White collided into, and a card will come out of the pocket of Rachel Sweat. Shown to Abby Lee Stringer, the second half substitute.
Stringer just coming in too strong with her shoulders here. Hannah White, she has the advantage there. It's a good play from the midfield.
As aggressive as DC has been on those counter presses, they have at times been a little too aggressive. Third most fouls conceded in the league this year. It sets Lexington SC, and Maddie Perez up with a free kick in quite the inviting position.
This is a high line by DC. But with getting goal, we've seen her cover this area.
Perez curls this into a crowd, nodded wide of goal and out. There is a DC player slow to collect herself. That's Myra Conte. Fans, visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC team store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. From kits to scarves and hats, we've got everything you need to show off your club pride. That's lexsporting.com. Safe to say those in attendance clearly hit up the team store. Very loud and proud this evening, despite some adverse weather conditions. Rooting on their team to get across the finish line in the inaugural USL Super League season.
I love seeing all the merch all across the country, right out in the wild, and you see people with Super League gear.
There's some good branding across the Super League as well.
Some of the jerseys are amazing.
Carolina Ascent. I had a chance to cover Carolina Ascent a couple weeks ago. Fascinated with the club crest, the color scheme. It's just so aesthetically pleasing. Here's DC, Gianna Gorley. Trying to turn away from pressure. We'll hoof this upfield. Fitch in behind, cuts it back, edge of the area. Colton steers it inside and Perez hacks it away. Not fully cleared yet. DeWong glancing header back on. And a little pinball around before coming to rest with Tiana Tolleson.
Lexington really staying nice, tight, and compact. We did not see that in the first half. So that's definitely an adjustment they made at halftime.
DC was able to use their long passing ability to pull Lexington players out of position. That opened up gaps in behind. Ben Willis was pretty adamant this week that one of the biggest changes he's seen in the second half of the season is that this team, they're very resilient despite results not going their way. They always respond when the coaches need them to, and they continue to fight for each other. They're showing that grit, that fight early on in this second half. Some trouble at the back here for DC.
Lots of life and energy for Lexington.
Rolled up ahead, here's Hannah White, the former Georgia Bulldog. White weaving, White gives it up, and Moyer will cycle this one around. Good patience shown right now from Lexington.
I was gonna say, it's a good defensive stand by DC, right? Lexington was already down there 10 yards from goal, and they forced them all the way back over the 50.
Part of that recommitment to defense that Phil Nana has asked of this DC side. Yes, all starting in the middle third space of the pitch, but across the board, it's all about defending as a unit. Gorley very nearly too heavy of a touch, but a tight rope the touchline. It's worked up ahead to Frills. Frills steps inside. Edge of the box, back to Gorley. Now funneled back wide, looking for Carly Frills, instead cleared out by Julie Mackin.
I'm not sure if Frills had any more gas in her tank there. She makes a run down the flank, finds Gorley. Gorley sends it back, and she just didn't have enough.
Throw in from Fitch, finds Frills. Back to Fitch. Duong again will funnel it down this right channel. Fitch tries to cross. That cross was deflected on its way out, and a corner conceded to DC Power.
And how about Fitch on this outside flank? I mean, she is just working up and down the pitch. Such a hard worker.
Fourth corner of the evening for DC Power. Second fewest corners generated in USL Super League this season. They've had no issues stacking up set pieces in this contest. As Duong will trigger this in from the near flag.
Now, the player like Duong, you want to get as many corners as possible. She just floats these crosses in.
Duong drives this in, falls at the spot to Gorley, bouncing around, and knocked wide of goal.
Could wind up being dangerous for Lexington. They cannot let DC be the first ones to the ball.
Two changes made in this second half as Courtney Jones, Mary-Kate McGuire will both come on for Lexington. Up to 3 changes now for Lexington SC. One of those second half changes, Julie Mackin, has been very productive, helped set the table for that goal that has pulled them back within 1. Ben Willis did say that, especially as the team continues to get healthy now that we're at the end of the regular season, they do have a handful of players out for international duty. He expected to see plenty of new faces in and out of this team throughout the evening.
And it's their chance to prove themselves now, right? Next woman up, who is going to earn a contract for next season?
Gorley sidesteps a challenge. Here's Colton. Looking for the goal on that taken down. And Katie Duong will draw a free kick for DC Power. Frills with it. DC continuing to try to attack down this right-hand flank. Rolled in behind, Gorley. Gorley crosses. A whistle will wash it out. The flag is up again for offside.
Listen, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? I mean, that's where they are getting their chances. Down that right-hand flank. Mainly through Fitch, but then Gorley's making her runs over there as well. They just need to adjust to this high line of Lexington. More diagonal runs, more east to west runs versus north to south.
Part of the tactical identity now under Phil Nana is utilizing those flanks. They like to get those wing backs really dropping in. And because of that tactical philosophy, they're not going to generate a lot of touches inside. Nana referred to that as their second build if they have to recycle it. Here they are on a transitional moment. It's Emily Colton. Colton muscled off the ball. Every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the Sirius XM app. I am not saying this to flatter them or because I've worked with Marion Crowder, but those are two of the most intelligent soccer minds that the USL Super League has. Falls back to Vernus. Second ball served back in, grabbed by Addie Gay.
And Addie Gay just proving again how good she is in the air, able to win all those high balls.
Gorley trying to showcase the hold-up play. Instead, it's turned over by DC. On the move is Lexington. Parsons looked to cross it in, cut out. Goes out for a Lexington throw-in.
Substitution for DC Power in the 65th minute. Number 19, Yuka Kurosaki.
DC will make another change as Yuka Kurosaki, the former Racing Louisville signee with the NWSL, was then promptly loaned to this DC side, acquired in August of 2024, will come on. 23rd appearance of the season for Kurosaki. It's a throw-in for Lexington SC. They've shown great promise and great response in this second half after trailing 3-1 at the halftime break. Trying to plant their flag in this end of things. Errant pass by Kate Dolan.
That's probably the biggest gripe right now with Lexington, right? They're just not completing, they're not connecting between the midfield and the forward lines at all.
Back on it now is Lexington, countering. Option out wide, rolled ahead and taken down was Jones. That will draw a whistle, rather, from Rachel Sweat and a free kick.
How about that speed from Courtney Jones? My gosh, just flying up from the back. And good job recognizing and seeing how open she was there.
Courtney Jones knifing in right into the heart of the DC defense.
And this is what they need, right? They have to start getting it out wide.
A free kick for Lexington SC, just 2 steps outside the 18. They had a free kick in a similar spot earlier in this half, but a little further back. Referred to that as a promising position. If that was promising, this is excellent for Lexington.
I mean, Perez can go right for goal on this.
Perez steers it in! What a goal for Perez! All level at 3! Perez with her first of 2025, not at a moment too soon.
She was within distance to have a shot. This is an excellent decision here. But look at the bend on that ball. I mean, for it to go out and around above the wall and then hit the side netting. I mean, look at this spin. This is something that you practice in your backyard. You practice after training every single day. And then you come in, the stable's hearing you. It's an excellent goal.
That is as brilliant of a goal off a set piece as you'll see.
Cue the horns.
Lexington SC, 2 unanswered goals in this second half. They're off to the races. It's a whole new ball game. Now worked back on. It's Jones. Lexington wanting more. They're doubling up Jones now at the byline. Cleared away. Moyer goes crashing across the touchline, and now there's some pushing and shoving.
And this just shows how much these athletes want this win. It's now 3-3. It's been back and forth. These players are leaving it all out on the pitch.
Yellow cards issued to Lexington SC in the 70th minute, number 24.
I mean, look, they're just going at it. Is it my ball? Is it your ball? I'll take a little push, a little love tap, a little more pushing. Referee doing a good job there just to break it up.
When your captain's involved like that, that sends a message to the whole team, really.
You know what? And this is the type of thing, right? You see DC jumping in, right? Everyone's going to protect Yuka. They absolutely love her. All of her teammates love her. They said she's such a great teammate, and they're going to stick up for her. And this is the type of thing, the fight, you want to see this so more in the middle of the season, right? Where you're then able to propel it to get some wins.
Rachel Sweat dishing out dueling yellow cards after that confrontation. Some frustration for DC boiling over there, simply because you look at the statistics, and yes, stats don't necessarily win you games, but for the way they've played for such large stretches of this game, the fact that it is 3-3, you have to be frustrated with your effort if you're DC.
Yeah, and Lexington's really come out in this second half, right? They stuck to their game plan. They increased their aggressiveness and their pressure on the ball, and it's paid off.
Long throw in from Mackin. It finds Parsons. Rather, Hannah White. Left it back ahead. Since the turn of the second half, Lexington have been living in this end of things. A big reason why they are sending considerable numbers forward, and that has made DC uncomfortable.
And at the top of the show, we talked about how dangerous they are when they do get the ball in the box. They're able to convert, they're able to score goals.
That was an area that Ben Willis said was the biggest difference between the first matchup, as there's a whistle and a foul between these teams that DC won, and the most recent two that Lexington has won. And it's that they came out, they dictated the style, they dictated the tempo, they kept DC off the ball, doing all of those things right now.
Yeah, and they're on the front foot. They're nice and aggressive.
What a ball played forward, out wide.
It's an interesting matchup, right? Because the only win at home for Lexington was against DC. So here you have DC wants that revenge factor, but Lexington also has the confidence of, we know we can beat them at home, let's get another win.
And that mess of yellows a minute ago, Gianna Gorley, one of the players, shown yellow, as well as Yuka Kurosake. Courtney Jones shown yellow for Lexington. All three of those yellows resulting from that scuffle minutes ago off a throw in for Lexington. Ball goes looping out. DC will have a throw in, but first there will be a change as Hannah Richardson will trot onto the pitch. Out comes Maddie Parsons. Parsons, a productive day, netted her 6th goal of the season. A strong way to close out your 2025 Super League campaign for Maddie Parsons. And now heading onto the pitch is Hannah Richardson.
Richardson, one of those she loves to play against DC, scored a brace against them.
A hometown favorite as well, having spent 4 years at UK, a former All-SEC freshman team selection back in 2019.
We've seen a lot of that in the Super League. I mean, it's so great whether it's where players came from or where they went to college, just for them to come back home and play professionally.
Ball through, cut out, one back by Lexington. If you don't know much about Kentucky, I'll tell you this much. Kentuckians love two things: their sports teams and the Kentucky Wildcats. Hannah Richardson ticking both of those boxes. Worked up ahead. Here's Gianna Gorley, a first half brace to her credit. Now Gorley on her right sails that high. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super League newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. I'm not just saying this because I'm on air calling a Super League game. I signed up for the Super League newsletter. I do get things directly into my inbox. It's a very detailed newsletter, to say the least. One back by DC, who have conceded 2 consecutive goals in this second half. First Parsons, then Perez on a worldie off a set piece. Kurosake steers it out wide. Abera laid off. Kurosake deflected in front, still bouncing around, rolls out, and a corner won by DC.
Just a bit slow with that connection there between Loza, Abera, and Yuka. Unable to get a quality shot off, but I like the combo, I like the ball in, I like the ball behind the defense. It has to be a little quicker, in my opinion, especially within the box.
Kurosake will trot over to that far flag for DC Power's 5th corner of the day. Kurosake hangs this high near post. Second ball headed in, still loose in front. Lexington desperately trying to clear, and it will be a goal kick, the result.
What a great service in from the corner kick, right? Hitting it far post, a nice bend, but enough to keep it in bounds. Stringer able to keep that ball alive, but Lexington doing a good job, staying nice and tight and compact. It's a heads-up play.
I'm sure you can attest to this from a coaching perspective, but you talk to any coach and they'll tell you one of the most dangerous things to defend on a set piece is not the first ball, it's the second or even the third ball in, and Lexington defending it well.
And that's what we call framing the goal offensively, making that goal bigger, making it wider to increase your scoring chances.
White tries to cut that back, it's intercepted and cleared away. DC Power with a throw in late in this contest. They had scored 2 unanswered to close out the first half. And now a careless pass back will find the feet of Shea Moyer. Rolled ahead, it's McGuire. Worked off the ball by Duong. Now Conte. Oh, what a ball ahead. Off her line was Tolleson. That's a smart read.
That was a great through ball, though, by Loza Abera. Tolleson able to read that. If not, it would have been another breakaway for Gorley.
Lifted back ahead by DC, but headed away and nodded down into the possession of Perez. Rather, that's Courtney Jones, who has it on this near flank. Four shots on target tonight for Lexington SC, 3 of which have come in this second half. Ben Willis, the biggest takeaway down the stretch for the acting head coach of Lexington SC was finish their chances. Safe to say his team paid attention to that message. 3 goals put in on 4 shots on target.
Yeah, I mean, they look good, and we talked about how dangerous they are once they get into the box.
Speaking of dangerous, here's Gianna Gorley into space. Gorley stutters. Now turns, edge of the area. Gives it up, it's Emily Colton. Fitch will cross it in. Back stick flubbed wide by Kurosaki. A brilliant service, but the finish not there.
And with that, Lexington playing that high line, that's a great ball up over the top of that defensive line there. Kurosaki unable to keep it on target, but it's Fitch getting involved again. I mean, how dangerous has she been on the outside right flank? Oh, shin ball there. Didn't even hit the foot.
Be sure to visit lexsporting.com to get your latest Lexington SC merchandise and discounted ticket offers. That's lexsporting.com. Both these coaches not just reflecting on the season that was, but also what's to come for this Super League following its inaugural season. Yes, playoffs still to come, but by and large, USL Super League, a smashing success in year one, and not just on the pitch. It's about the things that it has impacted off the pitch, such as no collegiate draft in the USL Super League. And what did that lead to? The NWSL amending its collective bargaining agreement, doing away with the college draft, as Lexington will make another change. Alicia Laramie will come on. But also with the addition of this Super League into the USL pyramid, the existence of that USLW League, we're now seeing other leagues like WPSL Pro and a potential NWSL 2 spring up. It's having wide-ranging impacts on the state of women's soccer in America.
It really is, and it's not watering down at all. We have so many good soccer players, not only in America, but across the world as well. And now they can come here and play, and the pathway is just exactly what USL is all about.
You talk to any coach on the women's side of soccer in America, and the one thing they've said for so long, what do we need more of? Opportunities for women's players in this country. That steered out of play away from Conte. It's a throw in for DC. We've seen it at the NWSL level. So many talented players who have been drafted in past that end up not making rosters because there's just not enough spots to go around. Grace Yongo will come on, the Cameroon national, as a late change for DC Power. DC Power with one sub left in this contest. Lexington has utilized all 5 of their substitutes.
And talking to both coaches, this is what we kind of expected, right? We expected to see the starters, the main starters playing, but then also some new faces and non-starters getting some minutes today.
Lexington will cycle this one around. These last 20 to 25 minutes, Lexington have been the better team by a large margin, and it shows on the score sheet. 2 consecutive goals scored. It's been for this reason right here. They've been able to sit in more on possession than they were able to in that first half. One back here by Jones. Sidesteps one challenge. It's still Jones. White rips it inside, just out of the reach of Mary-Kate McGuire. But the pressure kept on by Shea Moyer. White cutting to her left, wanting the cross. Tripped up at the last moment. Ball rolls out. It's a corner won by Lexington. How about this Lexington offense?
I was just going to say, this is a different Lexington team than what we saw in the first half. I mean, they just are playing with so much high energy right now, and the aggressiveness, they're going at it.
Today's Lexington SC corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. It's the 3rd of the night for Nicole Vernus and Lexington SC. 6 corner goals for this season. Vernus stands this up, punched away. Pushed ahead by Julie Mackin. Now Mackin tripped up, no whistle.
Both these teams going to be fighting till the final whistle. No let-ups from either side.
DC this season, they've scored 7 goals within the final 15 minutes of contests. Lexington, meanwhile, they've scored 5. It's still anybody's full 3 points to take home for the final time in 2025. Around the USL Super League, Dallas has gone out in front over Carolina Ascent in that season finale matchup. Keep in mind, if Dallas wins, they clinch a playoff spot. Could get the 3 seed if Spokane and Fort Lauderdale tie, or the 4 seed if either one of those wins. They must win. A tie would eliminate Dallas. Trinity playing for their lives at this point.
Such craziness on the last day of the Super League.
Those in the league office, President Amanda Vandervoort, they have to be loving that, right? That there's so much drama and intrigue left to be played here on this decision day in the inaugural season. Now this, hoofed up ahead, racing in, it's Richardson. Numbers, Richardson squares, bouncing around. Jones tries to serve it in, and it's cleared away. What a recovery defensively by DC. It's not done yet, though. Jones still on it. Tries to cross, blocked out. It's a corner.
Who is this Lexington team? Because look at this. They are flying off to the races. Look at that speed. It's a great layoff here. Just lucky DC was able to get a touch to break that up.
Best of shots there on the second effort. Today's Lexington SC corners presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Some pushing and shoving inside that 6-yard box as Vernus will pull the strings on the 4th corner of the night for Lexington.
We have a mosh pit going on in front of the goal.
Rachel Sweat will walk back into a crowd and finally say, all right, everybody, that's enough. Vernus crosses this back post. Second ball, knotted in. Gorley will thump it clear. Stay informed about all things Super League. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into the league. Two teammates collide for DC, a player still down. Now another heavy collision, this time between Murnan and Hannah White, and Murnan will stay down.
And this, of course, is not what you want on the final day of regular season, to get any sort of injury.
Murnan a bit worse for wear between the two players who collided on that challenge on the near touchline. Murnan is back to her feet.
Nice. Card is issued by the referee to DC Power number 20, Madison Murnan.
And this is just showing how hard the players are going at it. Every single ball, they want to win it.
Glancing collision there between White and Murnan on that near touchline. Murnan shown yellow for the challenge that took White down. Meanwhile, Susanna Fitch, the former VCU Ram, is still being checked on by the DC Power training staff. Working on that lower right leg of Fitch. We've talked a lot about her tonight. She's been so productive, brings so much to the crossing and set piece game for this DC team.
She's really had a great game. I mean, she's the reason feeding it into the box, feeding it into Gorley. I mean, she's been unstoppable there, and she's such a hard worker. She's one of those who goes up and down the flanks all day long.
Fitch back to her feet, able to walk off under her own power. After having that lower right leg worked on, Fitch, the VCU Ram, a former first team All A-10 pick during her career. One of a handful of VCU Rams on this DC Power roster. At some point, all four of them overlapped in their collegiate career at one point or another.
So great, all the teammate connections we see across the league.
Trinity Watson gets play back going for Lexington. Across this 90th minute, now served inside and cleared away. 5 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of this 90. Lexington flying around, and that has been the story of this second half. These transitional moments have been so limited in half number 2 for DC. They were living on them in the first 45 as this looped ahead to Murnan. The flag is up for offside.
And with Lexington playing that high defense, it enables their midfielders to step up, then enables the forwards to step up. They're moving as a team now. We didn't see that in the first half.
Lexington on the move, trying to work this up that far touchline. That goes out for a Lexington SC throw. Richardson chucks it back into play, quickly back underway. It's on to Richardson. Richardson whips this cross in, cleared out by Hannah White. It's 3 corners now for Lexington SC in the last 10 minutes after having just won the entire first half. It's like a night and day difference in this second half.
And it just shows how much they're having the ball now in their offensive third. We didn't see that in the first half.
Today's Lexington SC corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Vernus lifts this into Gay, punched away, hit off the volley wide. Fans, visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC team store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. That's lexsporting.com. Combination play given up to Laramie, and there is a whistle in behind. A free kick awarded to Lexington SC. A second half surge of energy, all because Lexington playing a bit more fluid, a bit more cohesive. They've been able to hold on to possession, and that overcomes some of the numbers. They haven't generated a ton of shots. Just 4 shots on target. The XG on the shots, not great, sub 0.4, but they're finishing their chances, which has been the message all season long from this Lexington coaching staff.
Yeah, they just had to get there, right? And now in the second half, they're getting there. They're getting into the box. They are making the best of their scoring opportunities.
Today's Lexington SC corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Vernus, they've looked to her on their set pieces this evening. Vernus drives this in. Falling on it was Lexington, and now DC an opportunity to clear it. Breaking out is DC. Rolled ahead Abera. Tries to switch it back out wide. Kurosake will run it down in behind. Now Kurosake. Switches it back to Fitch. Yongo, edge of the area, gives it up. Duong funnels it back down low. Here's Fitch. Textbook defending out wide by Jones. Here's Duong. Duong will get it back. Duong lifts it back in, recovered nicely. What a play by Kate Doyle, potentially saving the game for Lexington.
I love this idea by Duong, just lifting it, chipping it up over the defense. And you see how high Lexington's line is yet again. Great play, but you're right. Even better save by Lexington.
The offside flag will come up one more time. Not before Rachel Sweat sounds the whistle. Full time has been reached in Lexington. And with it, the USL Super League season drawing to a close.
What a game we've had today. Excitement on both ends, offensively, defensively. Goalkeepers coming up with clutch saves, and we saw magnificent goals.
Lexington and DC in the fourth chapter of this budding rivalry. They share the points on the final day of the Super League regular season. 3 first-half goals from DC, not enough. A second-half comeback for Lexington at home. We'll head back to break and return to Kentucky to break it all down. Back in Lexington, Kentucky, Lexington SC wanted to send the home fans smiling, and they do, with an impressive second half comeback to share the points on this Saturday evening. 3-3 is our full-time result. Alongside Christine Huber, I'm Jake Griffith. Glad to have you with us all evening long. And a big thank you to all of the Lexington SC fans out there who supported us during the inaugural Super League season. We're looking forward to seeing you at LSC Stadium this fall. Plenty of action to go around, Christine. We saw so many goals, an offensive explosion, and it all got started in the first half or early thanks to Gianna Gorley.
Yeah, Gorley was the finisher, but it was actually Fitch who's able to steal this ball in the midfield. What a great no-look pass. Gorley with the finish, her first of 2.
A little bit of foreshadowing because that would not be the last time we talk about Gianna Gorley. But before we got to that point, it was Lexington with an early response, showing some early fight, and a beautiful goal from Vernus.
Just a blast from Vernus. I mean, she's just able to lace this one and hits the side netting.
The aforementioned Gianna Gorley, she does it again. This time, minutes after they concede the equalizer. But before that, actually, it was Loza Abera. So many goal scorers, it's hard to keep track of.
It really is. Loza Abera making that far post run, able to clean it up from Duong.
Then later on in the first half, got a bit of ahead of myself there, Gianna Gorley would get off to the races, and when she's this open, she does not miss.
This is just textbook here. She's able to do that little stutter step. It freezes the goalkeeper, and she has a nice smooth finish.
That would send DC Power into the halftime break with a 3-1 lead, a first half brace for Gianna Gorley. But then things would start to become troublesome for DC at the back.
Some bad mistakes by DC leads to this goal here by Lexington. Parsons able to capitalize and put it in by Gay.
Maddie Parsons finishes the Super League campaign, 6 goals, 5 assists, as she would come off later in the second half. That cut the deficit to 1, but Lexington were not done. Jones able to draw a foul, edge of the box. The ensuing free kick, my goodness, from Perez.
Oh, what a great bent ball. Look at that, right over the wall. Bends it perfectly in an unsavable position.
Lexington would control the tempo for the rest of the second half, could not find the winner, and the points are shared. Meanwhile, around USL Super League, in progress right now, coming up on the halftime break, Dallas Trinity up 1-0 over Carolina Ascent, who have already clinched the #1 overall seed in the playoffs. Allie Thornton scoring the, so far, winning goal at this juncture for Dallas, who are fighting for their playoff lives.
Such a big scoreline for Dallas right now, because if they win, they are in.
And this, a look at our live league table. If this result holds between Dallas and Carolina Ascent, you'd see Dallas would jump all the way up to 3rd and be in the playoff picture. Spokane would be on the wrong side of the cut line. Still 45 minutes to go, though, between Dallas and Carolina Ascent. As we've seen in our match, that 45 minutes, a lot can happen in those 45 minutes. We'll close out our 2025 USL Super League season by talking to Madison Perez, who scored the equalizer goal in brilliant fashion. Madison, thank you for joining us on that goal to tie it up. What were you seeing the defense give you on that set piece?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. Just, you know, keeper was cheating all game, wanted to come out, get the grab the ball. She was cheating back post when I was hitting it. Everyone thinks I'm going to cross it, so last game, last basically set piece, so why not?
What adjustments did you make at halftime as a team? Because this was a different squad than the first half.
Oh, yeah. We made one change, but, I mean, everybody comes on. Everybody's a game changer. We did change our formation, went from a 4-back in the first half, went to a 3-4-3 in the second, and that gave us a lot of numbers up top. We were able to press, so we wanted to press from the start.
Your acting head coach, Ben Willis, had told us this week that there's so much love amongst this group. You all are such a tight-knit group. You wanted to fight for each other at the end of the season. How rewarding is it, not just for you to get your first goal in the season finale, but for this team to get such a positive result in the finale?
You know, no one sees what's behind the scenes. No one knows how hard these girls work. No one knows what goes on at training, what's outside of training, how much we all love each other. I think every single person on this field knows it's our last game together, so we wanted to put it all on the field. We've got a month off, so that's right. But, you know, we all love each other so much. This is probably the best group of girls I've ever played with. I'm so grateful for them. And, you know, just we're in a good environment, so we all want to fight for each other.
Madison, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for what has been a great first season of the USL Super League, and best of luck going forward to you and Lexington SC. Madison Perez and Lexington get a 3-3 draw at home to close out the inaugural Super League season. What a way to cap it in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. 2 second-half goals to pull a point back for Lexington. For Christine Huber and the rest of our Super League broadcast team, I'm Jake Griffith saying so long from Lexington, Kentucky. Our final score, Lexington SC 3, DC Power 3. Thanks for joining us all season long for Peacock's coverage of the USL Super League.
Wow.
More pressure applied. One back.